Hi, this is Dario. Welcome back to my channel Motley Reads. Today I'm going to talk about my reading plans for 2021. So I've done like this. I've collected everything in a book card here, and book card. Every booktuber that calls him or herself a booktuber has to have a book card, right? So I got the book card, and I think IKEA is doing quite a good business with these cards. They are kind of a general serving cards, but I think that I used mostly like a book cards. So I've got one of these, and I filled it with the books for reading next year. Now I organize it like this. This is on the top floor here is that's the books that I'm going to talk about now, these are the books that I'm planning to read as a part of readathons and reading challenges during the next year. Then on the floors down below here are more flexible sections that are going to change throughout the year. These are the ideas and things that I would like to read. I will not talk about them now, but non-fiction is down here and the fiction is here. So this is going to be filled in and out with the books throughout the year. But the top floor I was planning to keep it more fixed. So that's the top floor is the one that I'm going to talk about now. So there are some readathons that we already know about, that they will be not all months are readathons are announced, so it might be that this is going to get extended. In one of the cases, I'm not really sure if the readathon will be held, because it was held first time this year. So I'm not sure if it's going to be held again. If not, maybe I can join in and hold it. Who knows? So without further ado, let's start. First, as to my knowledge, in January there is nothing really organized going on, at least not in our corner of booktube. So in January is going to be more random readings, and I have as you see, quite a lot of things here that I could read. Then February, it's a typically Black History Month, and for February in Black History Month I've picked 4 books that I'm very interested in reading. The first one is this one, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo-Lodge, and this is about the situation of black people in the UK. As a part of Non-Fiction November, I read The Natives. That was my first book on the racial situation in the UK. It was quite a surprising reading, to be honest. So I'm really curious about reading this one, because you hear very much about the situation of African Americans in the US, but the situation in the UK and other countries in Western world, in Europe, you don't read and hear very much about. So this is going to be quite interesting read. Second one is a classic by James Baldwin. It's a Notes of a Native Son. James Baldwin is a author that I admire very much. I really like his writing style. So far I've read only 2 books by him. I've read one non-fiction book. It is more a pamphlet. It's called Fire Next Time. It's also on racial issues. And the second is a novel, Giovanni's Room, that I read this year as a part of Pride readings in June. So this is a collection of essays on racial issues in America. The third book is also a book by James Baldwin, If Beale Street Could Talk, and this book is made as a film. It's adapted, screen adapted. I think it was this year or last year. I refrained from watching it because I wanted to read the book first, and I heard very much about this book. My wife read it recently and she loved it, so I'm really much looking forward to read it. And it says that it's set in Harlem, the black soul of New York City, in the era of Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles. The narrator of James Baldwin's novels is Tish, 19 and pregnant. Her love, a funny father of her child is in jail accused of rape. Flashbacks from their love affair are woven into the compelling struggle of two families to win justice for Fanny. To this love story, Baldwin brings a spare and impassionate intensity, charging it with universal resonance and power. Looking very, very much forward to this because, again, his writing style is so, electrifying. And then the last book for the Black History Month is the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave, written by himself. This is also, as I understand, a classic in the U.S. That many people read. Here in Europe, it's not very well known. I heard about this book through booktube, basically from American friends on booktube, and I'm very very curious about reading this. So this is my readings for Black History Month. Now, when February is over, we will then enter into March, and in March, it's March of Mammoths, and the idea here is to read a book or books, most probably a book that is over 800 pages on mammoth. Here I'm not really sure what I'm going to read. Right now I have here two possibilities. I'm thinking also of a third one, but the third one is just too big. The Count of Monte Cristo. Actually, I never read it, and it seems so intimidating. It's like this, so I'm not really sure about that one. But the two books that I have here, which are more likely that I'm going to embark on, are the A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, and this book has been around booktube for a while. I've heard only good things about it. Leo, fellow booktuber of A Little Book Life, he actually named his channel after this book. So it seems that the book has really left a strong trace in people who read it. So I'm very much looking forward to read it at some point, hopefully in March. Another possibility in March is The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. And I never read anything by Anthony Trollope. I'm very interested in reading something by him. Obviously, Barchester Chronicles is definitely something that I at some point need to embark on. And this book here is one of his few standalone books that do not belong to any series, and the theme here is right down my alley. It is about it seems to be like about the business life, about the family of that are active in a business space back then in 19th century. So this is quite an interesting possibility. So some of these two books, maybe both, who knows, March. Okay, then April comes in. In April, I really don't know what is going on in April. I joined booktube just this year. I think it was in April I started. I don't remember. I think end of April. And as I remember, there was nothing special going on. So tell me if there is something going on, so I can consider participating there. And then we jump into May, and May is this month that I just mentioned. Is the first. That there's an event that was held in May first time this year. It's called Maybe Midrash, and it was held by Jason over at All Blues Chapter and Verse channel, and some other booktubers, and I really hope that they will do it this year as well. And it is about spiritual reading, reading works of fiction and non-fiction, and having a spiritual conversation with these works. And here for this I picked 4 books that I'm very curious about, that I would like to get to. And the first one is the Confessions by Saint Augustine, and Confessions is really a classic and one of the, if not the key work in the Christian literature, and really basis of Catholic theology, as I understand it, and it is written. I think it's in 400s. It's like 1600 years old, and it is a biography by Saint Augustine, and about his journey in life and how he found God, and his relationship with his faith. Really quite interesting. And as I understand, many people that wrote about the spiritual journey afterwards were inspired by this work, and the some of the theological interpretations of a Bible also are linked to how the Saint Augustine portrayed his spiritual journey. So this is a pretty important and interesting work. I would really like to get to this one. Second work, the spiritual work that I'm looking at, it's also a Christian one. It is On Free Will by Erasmus of Rotterdam. And Erasmus of Rotterdam was active in the 1500s. This was written 1524. It's one of his two key. He wrote lots of different works, but we are mostly acquainted with two works of him in modern times. This is the first one. The first one. The second one is in Praise of Folly. And I read Praise of Folly recently. I really loved it, and this one is something that I would like to get to. And it's also meditation on theological meditation, really on the nature of free will in the humans, in a world governed by God, as I understand it. And Erasmus was in the 1500s, Europe was the most important scholar, and at some point I read in his biography, excellent biography written by a Swedish essayist, Nina Burton, is that at one point during 1500s, 25% of publications published in Europe were written by Erasmus of Rotterdam. And earlier this year, I had the opportunity to be in Basel, in Switzerland, where he lived a large portion of his life, and where he is also buried. So I visited the cathedral in Basel, that where he's buried. And I also have a short video from a cathedral. You can see it if you look. I think it was in August. I published that. So Erasmus of Rotterdam. Third book for maybe Midrash is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius he was a Roman emperor that lived between 121 and 180 after Christ, 121 and 180 Anno Domini, and this is his writings and reflections on matters of life, and it was his spiritual reflections. So this is also a classic of spiritual literature that I would like to read as a part of maybe Midrash. And the last book here is the Epic of Gilgamesh. And Epic of Gilgamesh is the oldest work that we know about, oldest written work that we know about, and this is. I think it's 4,000 years old. So it says like this: miraculously preserved on clay tablets dating back as far as 4,000 years, the poem of Gilgamesh, king of Uruk, predates Homer by many centuries. The story tells of Gilgamesh's adventures with the wild men in Enkidu, and of his arduous journey to the ends of the earth in quest of the Babylonian Noah and the secret of immortality. Alongside its themes of family, friendship, and the duties of kings, the Epic of Gilgamesh is above all about humanity's eternal struggle with the fear of death. So, spiritual work, 4,000 years old. It is written as an epic poem, So I think it goes quite fast to read, and I read portions of this in anthologies, and every time I've read the portion of it, I thought I need to read the whole thing. It seems so exciting, and now I got it, so I will get it. So this is for May. Now June is a Pride month, and in Pride month we read books about LGBT community and written by the members of that community, about the situation of people, of gay people, for instance, and how they live their lives, and about the gay experience very much, and I very much enjoyed that event this year, so I decided I will participate next year as well. And for that I picked two books. First one is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. I've heard lots of things about this book, both good things and bad things, so I'm really curious to see what my opinion about this book will be. And it is also classic. I think that many of the people that are watching this video have come across this book. And the second is Orlando by Virginia Woolf. And Orlando by Virginia Woolf is, I've heard it is her technically most difficult novel. And when you read on the backside, you can maybe understand why. It says like this: as his tale begins, Orlando is a passionate young nobleman whose days are spent in rowdy revelry, filled with the colorful delights of Queen Elizabeth's court. By the close, he will have it transformed into a modern woman, and 3 centuries will have passed. Orlando is Woolf's most extraordinary creation, and through him we see an intimate portrait of history in the making. So here is also, I think it's about experience of different gender experiences by essentially the same person, and also written by Virginia Woolf, who herself she was married to a man, but she had for many years an affair, a love story with a woman. So I'm very interested in reading this, and also this year I read Virginia Woolf. First time I read To the Lighthouse and Mrs. Dalloway. I made videos on these two fantastic works, and it really blew me away. So I'm very much interested in reading this. So this is for June. Then July comes, and in July, what do we have? We have a Jane Austen July. And as you guys who follow me know, I've participated in this first time this year, and this was the first time I read anything by Jane Austen, and I fell in love. It was so fantastic. Fantastic readings. I read Emma and I read Pride and Prejudice. So now I'm very excited to read more. So here I actually picked out three books. I picked up 2 books by Jane Austen and one non-fiction. Non-fiction is the biography, Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomalin. This one I heard very much about, and all Janeites have read it. So now I consider myself being a Janeite after this fantastic experience this June. So I have to read it. So this one, and then I picked up 2 novels. She wrote in total 6 novels. I read 2, so 2 this year, and I'm thinking 2 more will be read 2021, and then if I can really hold back in 2022, I will read the last 2 books. So the 2 that I picked for next June is The Sense and Sensibility and Northanger Abbey. Sorry about this. Battery on my phone was signaling that I'm almost done. So Sense and Sensibility and Northanger Abbey, as well as the biography by Claire Tomalin. And then finally, let's see. So this was June, and then August. I don't know about anything that is going on in August that is organized. So let me know if I missed something. In September, it's a Shake Tube. I wanted to participate this year, but I just couldn't get time for that. Work started directly there, and I wasn't really up for Shakespeare. I read I read one play, and then I didn't get into it more. So maybe I will do something in 2021, but I'm not really sure about that. So if there is anything else going on in September, I might embark on that. And the reason why I'm not into that is well, I might get into Shakespeare actually now. Thinking aloud here, because I think reading Shakespeare in English is very difficult for me. I'm not a native speaker, it's a pretty difficult language, and reading it in Swedish it feels almost like cheating. So but still, maybe I should. I'll get back to you on that. So let's jump further. So October, it's the last thing that I planned for, because in November is non-fiction November, and there I'm going to do a pick from all of my non-fiction books here. But for October is Victober, Victorian October. And here I picked 4 books to read. First one is Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. And apparently this is the book that inspired Bram Stoker to write Dracula. So this, I think it's very cool. The cult classic that inspired Dracula, Sheridan Le Fanu. And the Sheridan Le Fanu is the Irish novelist. So this is exciting. Second, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. Time Machine, classic science fiction classic from Victorian giant H.G. Wells. I've seen the movie, and the movie was really good. I really liked it, but I never read this, this slim novel. So I'm looking forward to read it during October. Then we have I heard that there is an underappreciated novelist from the Victorian times, George Eliot. George Eliot, I've heard that many people are not reading it enough for some reason. So I really want to read it. And George Eliot, it's I think her name was Mary Ann Evans. So it was a woman that was writing under male pseudonym. I never read anything by her, so this would be a first book. So Scenes of Clerical Life is what I want to read. And Scenes of Clerical Life it's 3 short novellas about the lives of ordinary men and women in a provincial Midlands town that have initiated a new era of 19th century literary realism. So I'm looking very much forward to it, and I also really like this painting it's called A View of Osmington Village with the church and vicarage, that was painted 1816 by John Constable. And Constable is really has been doing some nice work. Look at this. This is gorgeous. And then finally, the last book for October is a book that I understand that you either love it or hate it. I never read it, and I will read it now. And my wife was again, trying to convince me for many years to read it, so I will read it now. And that's Wuthering Heights by Charlotte Bronte. So even my mother was trying to convince me to read it. So Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and it doesn't need any introduction. I think everybody knows the story. I've tried to watch a couple of screen adaptations that were really terrible. So they really didn't sold it in very well. Who sold it in? Obviously my wife. Obviously, you people on booktube. Those of you who really love the book, and also those of you who really hate the book. Then I get intrigued. I really wanna read it to get one opinion. And also what also sold in this book to me is of course Kate Bush with her fantastic song and video, Wuthering Heights. So Wuthering Heights is the last book of this plan for 2021. So again, let me know if there are some events that will be held during 2021 that you think that I missed, that I should participate in. And until then, see you. Bye.